What's going on to all the kings and queens out there? Welcome to another episode of the Wakanime Nation podcast. I'm your host, Hisagi, joined by the homie Hook. Player, what's going on, man?
Nothing much, man. What's good with you? I'm a little happy to get into this today.
I am too. I actually really enjoyed the past two episodes. I thought it was pretty good. For those of you who are joining us, maybe for the first time, we have just been going through Tower of God, the anime. This first season that's been airing. Last podcast episode, we talked about episode 9 and 10, which there were some mixed feelings about it. What
Mixed.
did you think, Hook?
Uh, it was building. They were building episodes, so I wasn't really feeling them. But everything needs to build. I mean, check out One Piece. See how they always build it. It comes out great every time.
Wow, I tell you, we're not even 2 minutes in, and you went straight to One Piece.
I
It's
mean, it's,
okay.
it's better than Naruto. So I mean,
Yeah, we'll just leave that there. Agree to disagree. But I mean, going moving on from that, like, yeah, the last two episodes for me, it really wasn't that great or anything to really be, I guess, excited about.
I mean, there were
But
some small things like Bam actually coming out saying "I am irregular," and then also the fight between Ha Sung Yu and the assassin teacher. That was about
oh,
it.
Lopo Ren.
I mean,
Yeah, I guess, but like Bam saying, I'm a regular. We knew that. The
the
audience knew
audience knew
that.
that, but the group, the his fellow colleagues didn't know that. That's what when came out because Kun thought it was pretty hard. He's like, nah, I'm gonna take the administrator test.
Yeah, I guess. I guess. I understand. I get it. But yeah, this episode, Underwater Hunt
Mm,
Part 1 and Underwater Hunt Part 2, dude,
wrap that up right in all in
I
at once.
I loved it. I loved it. I'm just curious, like, what did you expect going into, I guess, this episode?
Um, I didn't know what I expected. I expected it to be like just another test where everybody has to come together, do what they need to do to make sure everything goes all right. But since this was supposed to be a different form of a test because Bam's the one that's sort of like getting really tested in it. So I was just like,
Yep.
okay, see
Yep.
how it goes. It just sounded a little funny when they were explaining it. It was like, yeah, there's this, there's this, but there's also a bull, and he comes out every once in a while. I was like, so basically, he's coming out. Like, oh,
Oh,
you
yeah,
randomly
that's
pull
right.
out that. Oh, he randomly, is gonna happen more often
That's
than
right.
not.
That's right. That was interesting. Yeah, so kind of what Hook alluded to there, guys, like going into this episode, I mean, we come off the fact where we find out Bam is a regular and then he is allowed to take the big exam by the administrator or the administrator's test because of that. And one of the interesting things is this was a very I thought it was a very complicated exam, especially when they explained it. Like the point is like Rachel and Bam actually like was doing nothing or meant to do any they weren't meant to do anything but sit inside of this little ball which was underwater and get eaten by the queen. But the dolphins were kind of trying to make that happen, but the dolphins have all these enemies, which was the pig, the worms, or whatever, and then the bull, like you mentioned, and yeah, it was and the goblins as well. So it was kind of weird. Yeah, and a very interesting exam. But although I thought it was very difficult, your boy Coon, he had no problems figuring things out. Like Coon is just it. He reminds me of myself when we play in Warzone. Like
That's a bold statement there because most of the time you freeze, like you'd be like, I'm like, next move, next move, next move. You like,
yeah.
yeah,
Anywho, yeah.
yeah.
Anywho,
We just gonna skip that comment you made because it didn't fit
Yeah.
in the same
Did you
category.
did you
I'll move it
actually
though. I'll move it.
understand? uh, Did you actually understand the game, or was I the only one that was a bit confused?
I understood it. It was like you just got to let the dolphins do their own thing. They just have predators that come after them. Just protect them, even though you can lose some of them because as the net gets smaller, it's easier. But I understood it for the most part. I was like, oh, okay, this sounds like a pretty easy test. Like
Oh, easy. It was easy to you. Oh,
It
okay.
sounded easy. It was just like you just got to hope the bull doesn't show up, and then it's just pretty
True.
much
But
fend off the worms, and you're good.
just like a typical anime, whatever can go wrong does go wrong. The
Mm.
bull shows up, and
She
your boy,
Bishu actually is the one that found the bull though. I was just like, oh okay.
yeah, coincidentally, he got some shine in. What did you think about his like brief moment he got in
What,
this
what,
episode?
was it a moment? He just sort of got he tried to run and got mauled. Like I was like, oh.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I was trying to give you, boy. I was trying to give you,
I, I
you
I
time.
love his character as
Right,
it is,
right.
but like he didn't have a shine moment. He was just like, okay, it's
Got
dark
it.
over here. It's what's this sound?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a good point. But yeah, he had to get saved by the girls. A knock and a Dorsey. They came in there. They arrived and they was ready for the challenge.
Mm. I mean,
You
it was Coon's plan. Really, Coon was the one who was like, all right, everybody handle it. Y'all just in case the Red Bull comes, y'all sit on the side and make sure that it doesn't happen. I was just like,
um,
okay.
it seems like watching this episode. Like, were you excited about the little game? I guess basically a knock, or didn't Dorsey go first to try and beat the bull?
It was, I believe, it was in Dorsey who went first. And then
Yeah.
oh yeah, it was her first because then when it hits that timer switch, like a knock immediately like pushed in and tried to push her out, and then yeah. But so far the test, I was just like, okay, like it seemed like it was pretty simple. Like everybody just knows their role, make sure that the Dolphins just do their job.
Except for Pericule.
Yo,
Which the green guy with the spear.
the
Bruh,
pickle
that
guy.
guy,
I just call him the pickle guy because he looks like a pickle.
yeah, he annoys me to no end. Like, you love talking about One Piece.
Oh my god.
Like, he
I don't love
annoys me
talking about One Piece. They just compared Tower of God to One Piece, so I had high expectations, and
yeah.
so far with the
So,
animation and everything, it's just not hitting the
it's
mark.
kinda like Usopp
So you just
level
gonna cut me
annoying
off?
for me.
What?
So,
He
it's kinda
Usopp?
like,
Oh,
yeah,
you see, so you've watched a little bit of One Piece, so you understand like the characters now. Once upon a time,
Usopp
you
is
didn't.
annoying.
He has his purposes.
Yeah, and Pericule is just as annoying.
No, no,
I
no.
don't
Pericule and Usopp are like
the
Usopp
I guess
is an important character. He's a main character. Pericule
true.
is just he's just a filler character to make sure that they have enough people for the test.
That good point, and that's noted. That's noted. I that's noted. I am curious, like why they even add him in there with
Yeah.
these type of like, yeah. I don't know. Pericule,
If
he
you
annoys me.
wanted to like compare it to anybody, I guess it would be like more like a Choji. Like he's there. He can be useful if he wanted to be, but most of the time he
Yeah,
gets to
I just want to say he's annoying.
dang.
But moving on from that, like, yeah, he has this moment with Rock, which was pretty interesting, where he kind of like, I guess, throws the spear, and I guess he wasn't given the signal to or something like that. He got scared, and that just almost messed up the plan, and Rock had to like save him and everybody. So that was a bit interesting. But going back to a knock in Dorsey, we get one of what I thought was one of the like biggest or nicest confrontations of the series so far, which was Lopo Ren, which is the assassin that we were introduced to from Jihad unit, like actually comes and gets ready, like pretty much we find out is controlling the bull. So a knock goes down and tells Endorsey, he basically or she basically tells Endorsey, yo, I want you to take care of her right now. Um yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah,
What
because like he wanted Endorser to prove that like you have to kill the fake princess. Like you got to protect your name, your brand. Like letting
yeah,
this fake princess here, like you're showing that like you know you and you accept her, which they're niece and aunt, but at the same time one's not one is considered not to be there or to be like some sort of abomination. And the fact that
yeah,
she can actually control Green April, which is interesting because like she's not supposed to have Green April, like it's a
yeah,
gift from Jihad, and he's just like, no, I just inherited it. So I mean, seeing that fight between like he had with all his creatures and everything, it was really interesting. I thought all his creatures were gone when he fought uh Ha Sung Yu, and
Mhm.
seeing that like he still had more stronger creatures still with him, that was pretty interesting. I was like, oh, okay.
Yep.
This is a little taste of what the tower is like. Like we're only on the first floor, and to see this, I was just like, okay,
Yeah, what I found fascinating, and I guess I enjoyed about this, I don't know, I enjoyed it, but at the same time, it was uneasy. It left me a little uneasy. Was they when they talked about the bull, or at least when Han Song Yu talked about the bull, he said even some rankers fear the bull. That was like one of the statements he made when he was talking about who the
I
bull
think
was.
that's a true statement though.
Yeah, okay, I get it, and it's fine. And then I was like, they got me a little bit because when Dorsey and Anak were fighting the bull, they were actually putting up a good fight. So I was like, wait, are they like ranker level?
I
Like, what's
mean, she
going
is pretty
on?
strong. Like they got the blood of jihad in them. Like that's a little bit of a jump start there.
True, but I was just like, how strong are rankers then? Are they like not really strong at all? And then introduce Lopo Birin, and I guess going on into the next episode or the next part, and Dorsey's like, hell nah, I'm not gonna kill her for you. I'm actually gonna team up with her, and we're gonna beat you ourselves. So like and Dorsey gives she takes the Black March, I think, and Anak has the Green April, and they go against Lopo Birin, and it's not even close.
Yeah,
Like,
it's just like, oh, he was just playing the whole time. Like,
yeah, he was just playing, having fun. So then I was like, oh, okay, rankers are on another level. There's no comparison between a ranker and then I guess someone who's like a regular just climbing a tower. So that was pretty good. Um, but I mean, your girl Yuri Jahai shows up
yeah.
in like that underwater hunt part 2 episode. Um, and she came with her crew. They all went their separate ways.
Were you
Um,
expecting her to pop up like that, just like in the middle of a test?
um, I did not expect for her to pop up where she popped up at. Like, I thought when they arrived, she was gonna end up where Hak Song Yu was stationed, and then he was gonna tell her, like, what was going on, and she was gonna have to run and save Bam. That's what I thought was gonna originally happen. But no, she showed up and she's like, "Yo, like, you picking on my little sisters. What's the
Mm,
deal?" And then yeah, so I thought that was pretty I didn't expect it to, like, I guess, happen that way, but I thought it was pretty cool.
mm.
Um, yeah,
Also,
it
another
but
little cool side thing was seeing like Coon meet like I don't know if it was his brother, but it was somebody related to him hacking into his lighthouse, and he was just like, "How'd you get in here?" Like,
so,
because
that was
when Yuri's team comes, in, they all split up. They all go their separate ways. They're just like, okay, yeah, we know how this goes. Like, we got our certain roles.
so that was something I wanted to ask you about because I know every now and then like we talk about like the manga versus the actual anime. And that was something that they I think they changed. Do you remember in the manga like what happened? Because my understanding is he just hacks into Kun's lighthouse and he does it so he could contact like all his teammates.
Right, and then
Um,
give them their own directions. That I think that's how it happened. Like in the anime, like they like he somehow got in. He had a controller, and he used that to unlock the lighthouse. And then he sort of like pushed Kun to the side, like, "Hey, like I got to handle real business here. Like y'all can do y'all tests later, but I just need to make sure my team's in the right spots because we have our roles."
yeah.
So it was
The
nice seeing like how like in the future, like how the team should function and how everything should
this
sort of like
that
relate with
is
each other. I was like, okay, we're seeing the
that
start and we're seeing an end. Like
that's a good point.
let's see how this journey goes to get to that point.
But I don't remember like in the anime him and Kun actually like fought. Do you remember they like clashed blades or what
I
like
think it was a slight clash, but then like Kun realized off the bat, like he was like, I'm not really a match for this. Like if he's not trying to kill me, I'll let him do his own thing.
yeah, but I love the comment. I think he made like a comment like before you come after me basically you need to I need you to get a little bit better. Um yeah, I like I like this statement, and I think this one was made in a manga, not the anime, where he said, "I'm gonna need you to master your own lighthouse first."
Right.
Like,
Because no
I
one's supposed
love
to be able
that.
to get into your own lighthouse. Like he should really
Right,
be dead, but he's just like,
right,
I didn't come for
right,
that purpose. Like you would be dead
right,
because you don't have anybody protecting you in your lighthouse, and I easily
right,
just hacked in. So I was just like,
right.
okay, all right, we see how
It's
it goes.
it's kind of like that subtle shade that I would throw at
You
you
all
every
knew that
now and
Quinn had
then.
room to grow because he only controlled one lighthouse, and just like you hear, like everybody else can sort of control multiples. Like I think
Yep,
most is like 3 or 4 that they've seen,
yep,
maybe 5. So seeing him only control one, I'm like, okay, you got
yeah,
some room there. But
yeah. One of the good comments you made, Hook, is that, and I didn't think about this. We got to see basically how the team is supposed to function because we have Yuri as the fisherman. Um, Obviously, she's out on the front line. We have the wave controller and everyone else. They're all in different areas, but we got to see what the wave controller could do. We also got to see what the lighthouse bearer could do, and or I'm basically by him hacking in and connecting all of them, he was able to give like what Yuri's coordinates were and like how they can get to her. I thought that was pretty dope.
right, right. 'Cause
Um,
at the same time, you have Evan talking to like it's like the house on you. He's like, hey,
Hassan,
like we sort of need to. I just want to let you know that we're sort of getting into this test. I need you to not tell anybody. We're not supposed to be here. And he's like, yeah, like I feel like like he knew ahead of time like what was going to happen. Like he could sort of tell, like with everything, because you have an assassin in there, and you're just like, I can't personally touch him because he's like a person of jihad. But then you have
right?
like a princess there. She's like, all right, I need to handle this, and I'm sort of going for the same mission that he's going for. And
Yeah,
he's like, I'm gonna let them collide during the test, away from everybody, and then and
Hassan, your boy was he just we
some
knew
of that
something
next
was
level
wrong.
thinking, I need that type of thinking there. Like, I don't want to deal with it. I'll let somebody else
Like
handle it.
high song, we knew something was wrong, but something really wrong with homie. Like he straight up, like they got there and they thought like they were intruding in a test. But did you catch how he basically let them know that they like the administrator knew they were coming and they were actually kind of a part of the exam. And everything I guess that happened with Yuri was meant to happen.
Right.
Um, so yeah, that was I thought that was pretty interesting. Ha Sung Yu is just up to no good. But going back to your girl Yuri, she shows up and she ends up fighting Lopo Birin.
It's not even
Um,
a match. It's just simple. I'm just like, okay. Oh.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. What can you do? What can you do?
you just try to make it home at that point. Like, hey, like I know I don't have a chance, but I'm just gonna try to fend you off as best as possible, and we'll see how it goes. And
Yeah.
yeah,
it it was not even like it wasn't even a competition. Like Yuri's over here yawning and like
so
she's like
using one finger, like huh, I'm just doing
yeah,
this to sort of protect myself.
pretty much. And then the thing is she didn't even start the fight. Like Lopo Biren was, I guess, really like wanting to battle like Yuri since she was strong. So like ended up releasing all these fish, and then like I don't know, it has like an anime orgasm or whatever you want to call it, and then opens up his or her eye and sees all the fish dead. I'm just like, yo, this is just Yuri's on another level. But yeah, that I thought was a pretty good fight. And then just moving on into like the finale, basically that whole thing gets resolved. Lopilpia gets taken out by basically the wave controller because Evan told Yuri not to interfere. And then it would have been problems, I guess, if Yuri killed like she's a princess of jihad and she's protecting
the fake
the
princess
irregular and the fake.
taking care of the whole assassin. Is supposed to take care of all this all together, and it's just like
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
But it was sick though. I was like, he's like, how far away? All you see is him with this giant hammer, and just bang, and you see no damage initially. You're just like, okay, like he's
yeah.
pounding on the ground, and it's just
Crazy.
one shot. Like all you see is just low, low power BRN just gets splattered all over the place. and
Yeah,
Yuri just takes the two. She's like, I'm gonna take my black
yeah,
march. I'm gonna just cook like the green apple for safekeeping because you're not gonna be able to keep it long the way you are.
yeah. Basically, and I'm glad that happened too because there's no way she would have been able to climb the tower. But yeah, speaking of climbing the tower, yeah, the Bam and Rachel, they're not supposed to be doing anything, but we find out Lopo Bia, who's controlling the bull,
His
set the bull
dying
after
wish,
Bam.
his dying wish was like, I have to kill.
Yeah, I gotta kill this irregular. He gots to die. And so like Bam is ends up fighting the bull and I
It
don't
wasn't
know.
really a
What did you
fight. Bam was just sort of like, I've done it before. I just got to push all this out and somehow kill this bull because,
let me launch this nice Kamehameha real quick. He was like,
hey,
I can summon it. I can do this. And yeah, he just takes the bull out, which is I guess cool. But
the climax of the season is like when the sun's coming clear and you're just like, all right, this is the finish line right here. And then Rachel, who was supposedly not paraplegic, yeah, paraplegic,
yeah,
she
she was
stands
paralyzed.
up and pushes him out the bubble. I was like, wait a minute, wait, this is not how this story's supposed to end. She got carried to this point, and she's like, nah, like, I'm sorry, Bam, I'm gonna take your team and your friends, and we're gonna see how it goes. So all you see is just Bam just floating into the darkness. I'm just like, dang, these
The
hoes
boy
ain't
is
loyal. These hoes.
all when I saw that, I was stunned. I said, "What the hell?" Like we thought this was Tower Betrayal when Bam's team was taking the test like a few episodes ago, but it really
Rachel was like,
became
Hold my drink real quick. Let me show you how it's done."
it really became Tower Betrayal. Like she legit got carried the entire way. The only reason they were taking the test was so that she could climb the tower.
And she's like, "Yeah, I respect what you're doing here, but at the same time, I need to climb this tower without you."
Yeah, it's weird. It's really weird.
I was hurt. I was like, did she really just? She didn't do anything that whole time on this whole floor. She's basically been sliding by. Had characters sort of like push her to be able to make it. She gets stabbed one time. Told
Yep,
she's paraplegic, and next thing you know, she's pushing Bam out the bubble
yeah,
for her own reward because she was going to pass no matter what. Just all she had to do was sit with the Bam, and I'm just like, who put her up to this? Like somebody had to do this. Who did this?
right. So once again, when we talked about how initially, um, like I read through the manga a while back or whatever, but look, when you get to this point, not only are you shocked, but you're thinking twice because you're like, something ain't right. Like the fact that um like she could stand up and push. She stood up. She's supposed to be
The
paralyzed. Eh,
audacity.
The audacity is she pushed this man out. But the thing is, they were told that she was paralyzed. Like, I'm like, what type of doctors actually pronounces someone as being paralyzed? And like 2 days later, they can actually stand up and like function. Like a
Somebody
doctor should be,
needs your license revoked because there's no way some
yeah.
unless you want to call it a miracle. Like, oh, it's a miracle. Like, nah,
No, 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 no,
you
no.
misdiagnosed it, and you're just trying to
Yeah.
call it a miracle to get by.
She comfortably stood up and pushed that man
No pain.
out of that bubble or that ball or whatever. It was bad. It was really bad.
She has like very good acting skills to sit in a chair for so long and just be like, all right, I'm just gonna let you push me around, feel sad for me, do all these things for me, and then now,
No, bro,
I'm done with you. So go
bro,
back.
bro, she has a poker face out of this world. Like I've been in Vegas and I had some pretty good success, but my face was never really an indication. My face just it told you everything about me. But Rachel, she sat in that chair like you said, while the bull was about to kill both of them. And she didn't know that Bam was going to be able to kill the bull. Like she was just sitting there, and Bam is struggling, and the bull is there to beat both of them. So, but she sat there. She sat there,
Mm.
and yeah, that was a bit crazy. But
That's crazy way to
over
end the episode.
yeah, I think this was the defining moment in the series.
Yeah,
Um, would you say that, or
yeah.
was
'Cause
there
at this
another
point, I was
moment?
like, so what happened? Like, is this the end of Bam right here? Like, and
Yeah,
then I was just like, okay, there is one more episode, so we'll see how this sort of goes.
yeah.
So
And
from right now, of everybody who survived, how would you create your whole dream team? Like, if you had to fill your positions.
I would definitely. Can I choose multiple at the same position, or
I
have to choose?
mean, you can get about 6, 7 people on your team. I'll give you that
So I'll have Coon as my light bearer. Um, my wave controller would be Laro
I mean, there's only
or
one
Laro.
person, so that was sort of
Yeah,
like
yeah. Out of my princesses, I'll go in Dorsey.
that
Um,
is that your fisherman?
that's my fisherman in Dorsey. My scout, I'll choose Shibusu.
What? You wouldn't choose hats?
No,
What? Okay, interesting, interesting.
no, I'll choose Shibusu. Um,
Because you want to laugh. That's why. Okay, that makes sense. Because
yeah, and then for my spear bearer, there's Rock. There's no way I'm choosing Pyrrhicule.
I would
Um,
choose Ghost in that spot. Honestly, I'm Ghost. Like,
really, the guy that just disappears out of nowhere?
he lives to his name
This is true. I think yeah, Ghost is a good pick. But yeah, I would out of Shibusu and Hots, why would you choose Hots?
because he's stronger and he has his own more like style. Like with Hots, you don't really have to check up on him. Like he's coming back. Like he can sort of he probably can take out a team if he really wanted to because his what is it? I think it's high rising sun and then low sweeping moon. It was
Mm,
just like he had his moves. He went up against a princess and they sort of like they looked at each other as equal. They're like, okay, you're equal. We're equally strong. Like yeah,
mm,
I can't think of a reason why I would not want him on my team. Like when
got it.
you want a team, you want the strongest pieces around you. So y'all can do what
Got it.
y'all got to do.
It's so befitting that you went that route just because just thinking about your personality and my personality, like my personality and how we clash. The reason why you chose Shibusu, I
I
mean Hots,
yeah.
um, I think it perfectly aligns with like how you view things. Like you want muscle and brawn over kind of intelligence and stuff like that. Because I chose Shibusu because, in my opinion, I think Kun he's smart, but he can also be very like strong in a fight. And Shibusu, I think his intelligence is up there as well, if not like higher than Kun's. So yeah, that's why I chose Shibusu. But that's interesting. I'll think about that a little bit more. But you're right. You could be the smartest person in the world, but there are some times where none of that matters.
Exactly.
And yeah, it depends on how much strength you have. Anywho, this are a really good couple episodes. How would you rank them on our scale? Guinea tuning, Jonin level or academy? I'm not gonna say academy because that's disrespectful. Or do you think it's somewhere in between?
It's not trash. Eh, it's not Academy. It's what's
I
between
think
what's
I
the
think
beginning? What's that little area? That little growth thing?
Guinea is academy, Guinea tuning, Jonin, and then in between Jonin and I want to say Kage, you could put like Sanin or whatever. It's up to you.
Shonin and Johnny, somewhere in between that. Like they're getting up there, but it's like you got some room to grow.
These
Like
past two episodes, I think, were Jonin level episodes. I really do. I think
I
it
I,
was
I I'm beside myself right now with your comments because
no.
I
I
mean they
think
were
they were
good, but
nah. I think they were action packed. But in addition to being action packed, they had like some really good developmental moments for like the characters and the story, which is what I liked.
so
Um,
I have a question now. So since you're a little bit into One Piece, side note here. He's been reading One Piece on the side now. Um, Based on the storytelling skills, do you think this is somewhat like close to each other, or you feel like the storytelling is
I think this is very different from One Piece storytelling wise so far. One Piece so far, the first few arcs or four arcs, I guess. One Piece tends to focus on one character and like focus on that character by themselves for an entire arc and just have like the other characters as moving pieces around them. It doesn't do too much fleshing out of the other characters. This I felt like they did not do that the first arc. Like we got it was multiple characters that they were trying to develop. Kun was one of them and Bam was the other. And then we also got some development with Anak and Endorsi. So this one was just more scattered storytelling wise, like and focus wise.
hmm,
Um the action it wasn't really that much action. I think it's comparable to One Piece to be honest, action wise. I think One Piece out of all the anime and stuff I've watched is like pretty low when it comes to like action scenes and fights and stuff like that.
that's interesting.
But as far as storytelling so far, One Piece is more solid. So yeah, that kind of hurt, but I think we could end on that note. You kind of just that's what you were fishing for, right? A One Piece compliment. So
I'm
thanks
speechless
for
right now.
thanks for joining us. Peace.
Dang.
Thanks to all you kings and queens for listening. To get more of the Wakanime Nation podcast by your boys Hisagi and Hooked, join the nation by hitting that subscribe button and check us out on Twitter and the gram. Peace.